Hello everybody. Before we get into this video, I'm just going to really quickly give my TLDR opinion on this topic. Isis Couture, Baby, Melissa B. Fairs, literally anybody who quits a reality television show, especially Drag Race, in order to preserve their own mental health and, take care of themselves is incredibly brave, and their choice should be respected. Okay, now let's get into the video. Welcome back to another video, everybody. I wanted to make this video because this topic has been really hot on social media recently after the most recent episode of Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World, where Isis Couture decided to step away from the competition. When I was initially watching that episode, I was upset at her choice because if you've seen my How Would I Judge Canada's Drag Race Season 2 video, which if I can figure that out, I might put in the iCard or at least in the description, I will. You would know that I love Isis Couture. Isis Couture is one of my favorite drag queens just in existence. I really adore that queen. And with the fact that it was Isis kind of inspired me to create this video. And I obviously respect her decision and I want whatever's best for her because she's one of my favorites, but it is still disappointing, you know? And this all kind of got me thinking about what are the things that the production companies behind Drag Race and Dragula and really just any drag competition show now and going forward into the future could do in order to not have situations like these continue to happen, because we've seen 3 of them happen very recently, and it's just not fun to watch people quit a show where they're showcasing their art and their talents because they're under so much pressure and stress in the situations in order to do so. Before we go any further, I'm going to stress I'm not a mental health specialist, so do not take anything I say as gospel. And nothing I'm going to propose today is going to be absolutely perfect, but they are ideas. They're all based on what we've seen former contestants say, and looking at different structures across different programs. I think there are really 4 main points that need to be addressed in order for these shows to continue running and for it to be happy and healthy for the contestants and everyone involved. Okay, point 1 we're going to be talking about is better structuring of the shows. Now, people have chosen to quit reality television shows literally since reality television shows even became a thing that existed, in the early 2000s, kind of when they had that big boom. And people quit for a bunch of different reasons. Sometimes people just quit shows because they just don't feel like being there anymore. And, whatever reason they decide to quit, whether it is something as simple as that, or there's issues that are going on back at home that they feel they need to take care of, or they're just trying to preserve their mental health, anybody should be able to quit a show like Drag Race and, it be okay and it not be a point of contention with the fan base or anything. People have their own lives. If they want to quit something for whatever reason, they should be allowed to do so, and they shouldn't be shamed for it, especially something that's literally being broadcast nationally, or internationally. And whatever reason that they have, you should respect that reason. And just because I'm saying that you should respect the reason doesn't mean you have to feel happy about it or agree with it. I wish that Isis didn't quit. I really wish that I could have seen Isis finish out the episode and continue to be on my television screens. But I also, am a person with empathy, and the priority is that she's in the right headspace and is able to preserve her own mental health, because her mental health is more important than me watching her on TV. So obviously, even though I wish that she didn't have to quit, I understand why she quit and I respect it, and I know that's what's best for her, so I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Now, all of the recent quits that happened on Dragula and Drag Race, all in some part had to do with the contestants' mental health, which is incredibly understandable. They're literally showcasing their art, and their passion and what they do, on TV, which is incredibly stressful. And because it is, the production companies need to do a better job of making choices that ensure the contestants are happy and healthy while they're there. Now, I'm not going to claim to know everything about television show production. That's not what I do either. But it is pretty well known that in almost all seasons of Drag Race, the contestants are isolated when they are like not actively filming for the show, in order to, and so that there isn't any like drama that's like off camera or anything like that, so that they have all the footage of the interactions that they can use. And like I understand from a producer's perspective why you would want to do that, but I feel there really is no reason to. It has been confirmed, like we know from literally talking about it. I remember on season two talking about it. I don't remember season one, but I believe Arancha and Hugateo confirmed this, that on both seasons of Drag Race España, all of the contestants lived in the same like house together and were able to like see each other and like interact. And those are some of the most like best rated seasons of the show and the entirety of it. And there's like how many fucking seasons of Drag Race? There's over 30, probably 40 seasons across all different franchises. And two of the ones that are really highly regarded all had setups in which the contestants were able to interact off screen. So it really isn't an issue for the producers, or you really aren't going to miss out on anything that's like you really want to see, because what you get when all of the contestants are able to interact with each other is still really good and can create even more conflict or even create different friendships and stuff, it can do so much, but will ultimately make the contestants happier because they're actually getting to interact with people. And as soon as filming is done for the day, they aren't just like locked in a hotel room until the morning, that's not good. It's not good for anybody when it doesn't really have to exist, when you can do this format and it ends up being better. So really just like taking actions like that to like preserve like contestants' mental health, and also making sure that there are mental health specialists on set as well in order to, make sure that all the contestants are okay. And like, they also have the ability to access those resources whenever they need as well, because it isn't very important, and you can't really decide when your mental health is like isn't going to be not okay. You can't be like, oh well, I'll have that I'll have that anxiety attack, in a half hour. No, you can't do that. Like that's not a thing you can do. That's just physically, humanly doesn't exist. So yeah, just taking those actions of restructuring to ensure the mental health of the contestants. Alrighty, point two is the money, and this point is honestly really simple. People spend a lot of money to go on these shows. I mean, some people, ultimately spend like $1,000, which isn't a crazy amount at all. That's like a pretty like that's not actually not that much money in comparison for to most of contestants that go on these shows. But some people also spend tens of thousands of dollars, which also makes sense for them because if they want to look good and they want to present well on this like on the TV platform that they're going to have. It's completely understandable which other way people whatever way a person wants to go, and also what access to resources that they have in order to get outfits also takes a part in it. There's a lot of stuff that has to do with the money. And so this has been talked a lot, but they just need all these shows need to give the contestants like stipends for going on, and like each episode they have to give them stipends, but they should give them more, whatever that is. They should just give them more. I don't I it might be enough. I don't know what they give them. I'm not fucking in production. I don't work there or in any of these fucking places, but give them more money while they're on the show, and also give them money prior to the show in order to prepare their runways, and everything, because it's that's a big stressor for people going onto these shows, is that you're kind of assumed that if you don't have the money you're going to like take out a loan in order to go on, because you want to be able to present your art at the level that you want it to be seen to everybody. And also the caliber is so high at this point that if you're not spending coin on these outfits, then people are just like trash. It's not really fair to these contestants. So give them the like give them like $10,000 prior to the show. Like that seems like a pretty decent amount to me. That kind of seems like a bit of the average. I might be wrong, but give them 10,000, hell 20,000. I don't know. I know World of Wonder can give each of the contestants at least $10,000 before they go on the show in order to prepare their runways and their wigs and everything. Like they literally give out $10,000 for winning an episode. They just give it out at the end of an episode for fucking funsies. So just like give them that money prior to the show in order to set up like a decent runway package for themselves. And that'll eliminate a lot of stress that these contestants have because money rules our society. If you don't have money, then you really don't have a lot, which is a very capitalist thing to say. And I wish it wasn't. I wish I didn't have to, wish we didn't have to live in a capitalist society like that, like we do, but like that's the way it fucking is. So, eliminating the monetary stress is going to take a big weight off of people's shoulders. Point three is a short one, but it's still important to touch on, and I can't really touch too deep on it because this is all, there's like NDAs and stuff, and we really don't know a lot about this kind of topic, but it is important, and it is production pressure. The production of these shows, specifically Drag Race, is because we just heard a lot about it. I don't remember hearing anything about this regarding Dragula. Um, Production should not be pressuring contestants to come back on these shows. Like I obviously understand like wanting a contestant to come back like immediately after their first season. I really like that. Like when Aja came back for All Stars 3, like that was super fun for me. Like I always find it fun when somebody comes back immediately. I really do. But you shouldn't be pressuring someone to do that. Like we saw with Ginger Minj on All Stars 2 that she like felt pressured to come back when she didn't like have enough of the resources and the time in order to do so and to be able to present herself well, and she kind of ended up kind of being the most like forgotten contestant of the season almost, just with nobody really like paying attention to what Ginger Midge was showing, and that's kind of disappointing. And thankfully, she was able to come back for All Star 6 eventually and really showcase herself as the true, like, cool queen that she is. But, like, it's not okay to be pressuring contestants to come back when they're not ready to. And it kind of seems like, from what we've heard, that this is what happened with Isis for Canada versus the world, is that she felt pressured to come back. And this either the production needs to stop pressuring people, which I assume there is some level of that, or the culture of the pressure in order to follow up so quickly needs to be eradicated. My last point is going to be talking about the toxic fandom. A lot of the pressure that is put on contestants with coming back to these shows and also just being on them the first time is how toxic the fandoms can be. Like, I'm obviously a part of the fandom. I'm literally making this video right now. But like, some of the things that people say to these artists that are literally just trying to show their work, like in like a national, like an international spotlight, is just like terrible. People suck. And like we've seen it with two of the contestants who are currently on Canada versus the World, Silkina Meganache and Rasha O'Hara. They got death threats and terrible comments for years after their seasons, until they were on All Star 6 and they were able to redeem themselves in the eyes of the fans. But they shouldn't have to redeem themselves in the eyes of the fans anyway. It's television, for fuck's sake. Like, just because somebody was portrayed as an asshole on TV doesn't mean they're an asshole in real life. It's TV. Sometimes people just play up being the asshole because it's gonna get them screen time. Like it's like they aren't terrible people, and you're a terrible person for kind of assuming that they are and sending them death threats because they're not death threatening anybody. It's really like the pot calling the kettle black. Is that the right phrasing? I don't fucking know, but you know what I mean. Like you see someone be mean on television, then you send them a death threat. It's like, wait, are you? Is that not the same thing? Like, what is happening? It's stupid. So there needs to be a crackdown on the way that these fucking, I'm not even going to call them fans because they're not really fans, talk about these contestants because it's not okay. It's not okay. And I think if if the stress of, how you might be betrayed on TV afterwards is, eliminated or lessened, then people are going to be more willing to, be on the shows and continue on with the show, Overall, just like looking towards the future, I hope that some of the changes, like the ones I listed above, can come into place and allow these shows to continue showing queer artists doing their best work and, giving them platforms that allow them to thrive. And yeah, I hope that these changes can happen and we create like a happier, healthier community for these queens and for all fucking queer people and allies as well. So that is gonna be it, I guess, for this video. This is a weird style of video for me to make. This is the first video in which I've ever had a script written out. I am literally reading off my phone right now. I ended up ad-libbing like half of it, but oh well, I tried. So if you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe if you wish. I had a really good time making this video, actually, even though the content is very sad. But this is stuff we need to talk about. Like, we have to be having these conversations. So again, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks again. As always, bye. Take care. I messed up the outro again. Whatever. Bye-bye.